Now, in the previous video, we finished creating our custom adapter. We used Android's code on the developer.android.com to help us to build our custom adapter. Now, when we now go back to our main activity, we want our data to now want to see our data, because remember, at this moment, all we have is just a class, right? So we need to make an example. We need to create an object out of that class to be able to see whether it's working or not. So what I'm going to, the first thing we need to do is always remember that we need to find our RecyclerView. So I'm just going to type in RecyclerView. I'm going to call it RV list equals find view by ID, r.id, and then we're going to do RV list. Now, the next step is we actually haven't created our list of strings yet, right? We haven't created our list of strings. So we need to create our list of strings. So to create our list of strings, what I'm going to do is our array strings is string, our array list of names. I'm just going to call it list of names equals, and I'm just going to call it Kofi, Kweku, Akrasi, and I'm going to say Yao. Now, this is my list of strings. So now when you look at this list of strings, what you can identify is that, okay, so now I know exactly how a RecyclerView is going to match up to now, because now what it's going to do is, it's going to take all of these names. So it's going to take Kofi at index 0 and combine it with the view at 0 and combine it together. So we see Kofi as part of the list. That's exactly how it works. But remember, we still haven't created an object from our custom adapter class. So to do that, all we need to do is we need to call it custom adapter. Then we need to give it a name. I'm going to call it RV adapter, for example, equals new recycler view, or it's called, ours is called custom adapter, right? And then what's custom adapter going to do for us? Well, what are we passing in? Remember that in our example that we created, right? We actually didn't create a constructor, right? We actually didn't create a constructor that would take in the list of names. So what we need to do is we need to go to our custom adapter, and then we need to now create a constructor from that custom adapter. And then all we have to do is just pass in our local data set, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do public custom adapter. I'm creating a constructor, and my constructor takes in string arrays, and I'm going to say data set. And then what I'm going to do with this data set is I'm going to do local data set equals data set. So what this will do is that when I pass in a list of strings or an array of strings, it will match this up with this local data. It will store in this local data set. So it will use that local data set and work out and figure out and put everything together for us. So now it's giving me an error because I have created a new object, but I'm not passing anything in. So at this stage, I'm going to pass in a list of names. I hope this makes sense. So by passing in this list of names, if we go to our custom adapter, what you would see here, you would see local data set equals data set. So when we pass in our list of string, our array of strings, what it would do is that it would put it inside this variable for us, right? Then in our main activity, what we actually now need to do is a RecyclerView also comes along with a layout manager, which is one of the requirements of a RecyclerView, is that it needs a layout manager which manages it. So to create a layout manager, it's quite simple. We just do RV list dot set layout manager, and then we're going to use a linear layout, new linear manager, and then we're going to pass in the context as this. Then we're now going to bind our RV list to our adapter. So now we're going to bind our data together, and we're going to say RV list dot set adapter, and we're going to pass in RV adapter. And that is it for our custom adapter. So all we've done is created a custom adapter, which we created a layout for. And then in our layout, we have a text view and a button, but we've just coded for the text view. It will be down up to you to now code the button as part of it. In the next video, I will show you how it works. I will show you the emulator of it running.